All right. On car video. Um, Bought a pretty cheap tripod off the internet. I'm trying to try these videos. I've been watching them a lot recently online and stuff. So I thought, why not try it out myself? I really want to have a channel in the future that I can share my cars with as well. So thought, why not give it a shot? Let's see. Gonna take this way. So for those who are not familiar, I'm recording in Malaysia, KL to be precise, and just sharing you some sights of KL and me driving around the city to where I need to go, and hopefully use the time meaningfully as well for myself to kind of journal and stuff. So you probably seen my gaming car videos. You probably seen my other videos where I'm not just on the internet and just talking about stuff. I thought it would be a good idea to move it to the real life now and just do something I always wanted to do, which is car point of view videos, which is what you're seeing right now. Probably I don't have the right setup for it as of yet. Ideally I want the camera to be a bit higher, but got something that's hanging around my neck, so I'll see what the outcome is, and hopefully I can improve moving into the future. For these videos we probably don't see the street as best as I can see it right now, so yeah, that's that. Anyways, driving back home right now. Just wanted to talk a little bit about cars this time, because of course I'm on a car, making a car video, so it makes sense of talking about a car. I'm driving a Honda, I believe it's called a Gen, I forgot which gen is it, but it's one of the latest models. Honda City is not very common in other countries, but it's very common in Southeast Asia. And the reason it's very common in Southeast Asia is because these are one of the more entry-level Hondas you can get into. I think I bought this back then for about 89,000 ringgit. That equates to, I don't know, about 20 or so $1,000, right? So it's not a cheap car by any means. $20,000 in the US can probably get you a better car, like a Camry or Accord or even a Civic already. But in Malaysia, we're not blessed that way. We are, in other words, cursed with very high taxes for our automobiles. So that's not very good for people like us, who enjoys driving cars, things like that. But we make do. And I'm not making excuses. All I have to do is just have a plan to get to the car I want. And I mentioned in a few videos before, I always wanted to get into a Mazda Miata. I think Mazda Miata is definitely one of the cars that I'm eyeing, and it's affordable to me, and it's definitely something I want to get. But as a starter car, the Honda City is one of the best cars you could get. Before this, my car journey started with a local car called Perodua Myvi. It's one of the local cars. I think it's a partnership between Perodua and Daihatsu. They are one of the more entry-level cars, alongside competing with the likes of Proton, which is another local entry car. And I would say Honda, Toyota is kind of the next step you want to move into. And then of course there are the Conti cars and things like that, like Mercedes, BMW, Audis, you name it. But basically, all I want to say is, started with a Myvi, moved into the city, in love with this car. I think it's a very, very great car for the price. You get your bang for your buck. It has the power, it has the handling, it has the space, it has the comfort. It has a pretty killer audio system as well. So can't complain with this car. It's a pretty good car, pretty good package. However, I want to add, nowadays when I see those Chinese cars and the prices they're going at, kind of shoots these cars out of the window, right? The likes of J-Cool, the likes of Cherry Omodas, BYDs as well. All of them are coming up with killer cars with crazy interiors, crazy features, crazy performance for the mere price of a city, as per se. Even Proton recently partnered with Geely, or I should say kind of acquired by Geely. I don't think they have the majority share, but basically all of their production and R&D is done by Geely now. And I must say, their cars are top notch. I think reliability can improve here and there. They're in no way as reliable as a Honda or a Toyota yet, but I think they'll get there eventually, and I'm excited to see what they'll bring. But with that said, I want to talk a little bit about this car. When I got this car, I was just started a job. Thought it was a good idea to get a car, and probably not. It's not a really good financial idea to get into a car, especially a new car, when you first started a job. So that's the financial mistake. Of course, I've been blessed. My parents helped me out, of course, with the car, and I'm forever grateful. I've never complained about this car. This car is a reliable beast. I think it's everything you need for daily commutes, right? So you can't complain about this car. So I got this car, got some help from my parents, get me off the ground, and yeah, it's a brilliant car. Can't complain. And yeah, I mean, the next step is a tough step. I ideally want an SUV or a as I said, my dream car, which is the Mazda Miata. But the Mazda Miata is probably not the most practical car. So I'll probably have the Miata, have the City as my daily, have the Miata as the fun car first. Or I potentially want to upgrade this car into a bigger car for future commutes and stuff. But anyways, really love this car, and I can't recommend it enough. If you're looking for a second-hand car, this is a really good one. Other than that, let me think what I'm gonna say. Right, so since we're investing / financial channel, I think it's a good idea to talk a little bit about the aspects of financing a car at a younger age, and why I chose to not break the bank. I think when I was speaking about buying a new car, I was thinking about the likes of Corolla, a Civic, or even a HRV, and I kind of bumped it down into a City. And why would I do that? Of course, I'm aware that I can go for cheaper cars, like the car you see in front. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's a Myvi, the newer version. I could have gone for that, but my kind of younger self thought I needed an upgrade, even though I didn't constitute of anything yet, or I shouldn't have rewarded myself for anything. I thought I needed an upgrade, and that's why I went with the City. I think it's still a good choice, given that I was comparing with the likes of Civics and stuff like that. So I think I made the right choice to go for a cheaper car. And the reason why I went for a cheaper car, and to this day, oh, there's fireworks, that's pretty cool. Anyways, the reason why I went for a cheaper car is because I wanted to make sure I had enough cash flow. When I was working, I wanted to make sure I had enough cash flow to invest. I at a very young age, at about 20, I was already pretty indulged into investing, and I always wanted to make sure that I have at least about 20 or 30% of my budget allocated for any sort of investing. And that's what I make sure. That's my base. I always want to pay myself first. I don't know if that's a quote from The Richest Man of Babylon or something, but basically pay yourself first. Get your investments down, and make sure the money is compounding. That's how you build wealth over the long run. But basically investing first. That's why I chose a cheaper car. I wouldn't say, of course, again, to preface, I wouldn't say this is the cheapest car you can get, but it's definitely one of the more cheaper models if you're comparing to what my peers were getting around my time. But anyways, definitely wanted to keep more cash flow ready for investments. Two, I was always thinking about maintenance costs. I was thinking about resale value, and I think Honda is the best in terms of that. The maintenance for this car, I would say, is a killer at the start of the first 5 years because you're under warranty. And in Malaysia, the distributor, you have to service with them or else the warranty is voided. That's why I'm super against buying newer cars. They kind of keep you in that trap, and I think it's pretty crap. So if anything, I would say go for a second-hand car and just don't go for those authorized services because they're absolutely ripping you the hell off. So anyways, maintenance for this car, I would say I spent about 1,000 ringgit or so, 1,200 ringgit or so every year. I think that makes up to about $300, and I think it's pretty okay. And in Malaysia, we're blessed with very, very cheap fuel, 1.99 ringgit now for a liter of 95. That equates to, in dollars, that equates to about 25 cents-ish, if I'm not wrong. Wait, let me see my math. No, sorry. I think it's about 50 cents. About 50 cents or something for that. But anyways, those are the two reasons why I got a cheaper car. And that's why, I really enjoy my car now. I'm very blessed. I realize that I'm in a very good position. And yeah, I think I will end it here for now. Do expect more live driving videos in the future when I have more time. But definitely this is something I want to try to do a little bit more because I really, really hope that my channel can grow into something in the future where I can do something like, with my Mazda Miata. Hopefully in the future that would be something cool, right? Just driving my Miata up some of the streets here in KL, which is very, very nice. We have forest trails and things like that, so definitely want to try out those places as well. I just want to bring you guys along to the ride, and I find it very therapeutic. Of course, if you haven't watched my previous video yet, been dealing with some day-to-day stress, in my 20s, and I think driving just really helps me out here. Anyways, with that said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.